I've been asking all the questions up to this point. I'd like to give each of you the opportunity, if you desire, to ask a question of one of your opponents. No? Okay. Mr. Stinson?
Well, there are a few questions I'd...
Limit it to one.
Oh, just one question?
Just one, yeah.
Just one question to one opponent?
One question to one opponent, yeah.
One
Not
question.
each opponent, just one. Pick an opponent if there's a question you'd like to ask him or her.
Well, maybe Mr. Posey, I'd like to ask a question. I did read your book, as a matter of fact, on accountability. And I think in your book you talked about, I thought there was a piece in there on limiting time in government, that we don't want career politicians basically controlling policy for forever, that we want to have new ideas and be able to bring those, like the accountability issue, into government. So don't you think it's good to bring new blood in at a certain time, you know, and not stay in government for extended periods?
Sure, I think it is. I've been in the House, in the U.S. House, not quite 8 years. I served 8 years in the State Senate, served 8 years in the Florida House, and 9 years on the City Council. I liked it. And right now, I believe if I saw somebody else willing and able to move for the changes that I think the next generation needs in Congress,
Right.
I would gladly step aside. Right now, I'm not convinced there's anyone that could do the job as good as me, that would stand up to leadership and do what's right regardless of the circumstances of the fallout. And so, you know, you're a bright guy. I like a lot of the things that you said. If I was getting ready to step aside right now, you know, I'd be, you know, really interested in voting for you maybe.
You're not ready to go that far.
I'm just not ready right now.
I don't think you've ever had a candidate say they might vote for the other guy.
But you do agree with, you do agree with
Listen,
term
I'm
limits. Term limits.
a co-sponsor of the term limit legislation.
Great. In Congress, because some of
Yeah.
people in Congress have been in there 50 years. I mean,
Well, it's usually in the Senate where we have the
Yes, Senate.
30-year plus stuff. And I think the House, the average House service in the U.S. House, this is a hard job. I'm just telling you, it's a hard job. And the average House term is less than the 12 years term limits
Right.
that we're looking for one reason or another. I can't see how people could do this job for as long as they've done. Now in the Senate, maybe.
Let me stop you there.
All right.
Corey, do you have a question for one of your opponents?
Yes, Congressman Posey, if you had a magic wand, what would you do if you could pass legislation that quickly and not the normal complexity of a Congress to address climate change?
If I had a magic wand, then I'd like a crystal ball that could give me some more specific answers on it that the experts can't give me up there, and show the proper recourse and a way to proceed, and show a way to proceed best on that. You know, so often the stuff gets so clouded. Like when we talked about the, and I didn't get to rebut that, when we talked about the grading score of mine, you said I have a lifetime score of 6. The very first bill that they grade on there was Congressman Goodlack's bill that said if you make an agency rule that's going to affect somebody, that the agency rule needs to be written as clear as possible, and the remedy needs to be as inexpensive as possible. In other words, don't act like government. Don't spend $2 when $1 would do. You know, when $1 will do, don't make somebody spend $2. So the wand I have would be to give me the crystal ball to quantify this stuff better and be able to put it into effect better.
Okay, thank you. I'm down to